Hey, how you guys doing? Okay, let's do it to it. Alright, let's do the puzzles. So, king takes h3. Let's see, what do we got here? We have a potential h5, which would attack the pinned knight, but that only equalize. It wouldn't really do anything. There potentially is queen h5, check, king g3, bishop d6, check, knight e5. Hey, how you doing? 95 and queen h4, I believe, mate. Let me see if that's right. So queen h5, check, king g3, bishop d6, check. Oops, I'm sorry, there's two knights that can go there. I wrote just one knight there. Hold on, let's I forgot the G knight, G4 knight, and the F3 knight can go in there. So let's do the let's try the G knight. So G to E5, E5. Then what could we do at that point? So G4 to E5, then bishop C1, check, king. Oh, there's no C1. Sorry, can't do bishops because he's already on. King to G3. Well, maybe I could attack the. I can go for a rook attack. That's what we'll do. That's what we'll do. We'll play rook takes e5. Rook takes e5. Rook takes e5. And if knight takes e5, then queen h4, h4 mate, I believe. See, okay, so rook G to e5. Knight GD5. Rook takes knight. If pawn takes knight, pawn takes bishop. Okay, let's see here, because we got to keep this knight. This knight on G6 is our knight for mate. One second. Hold on, let me get a drink of water. Sorry. Okay. Much better. Alright. So we need to take with the rook to keep the threat alive. So rook takes e5. If d takes e5, bishop takes e5, knight takes e5, and then queen to h4 is mate. Whoa. Hello. Wait, hello. Wow. Whoa. Nice job. That's 2767. Wow. Nice. That's a Super Grandmaster puzzle. Nice work. Whoa. That was nice. Great work. You guys, we're doing good. We're working together as a team and getting it all done. Okay. Let's see here. So we pushed h7 to h6. Let's see. We have a rook, a knight, and a bishop. How can we use? I see a potential idea. First move that comes to mind is knight to e5, knight e5. Knight e5, because that takes away the c7 and e7 squares and allows for a checkmating idea. So potentially this could be a line right here, e5, knight e5, king e8, bishop f7, check, king king f7, f8. I'm not sure if bishop f7 may. I'm thinking potentially maybe bishop h7. That might not be the idea, because he really doesn't have any. Even if he goes king to e8, he can't advance any farther. So all we'd have to do is play, let's say, after bishop h, copy, bishop h7. We'll say he tries knight e3, knight e3. We'll say knight e3, trying to say, I'm going after your rook. We are going to win. Yes, yes, yes. He's going to go knight e3. Nope. What we're going to do is play bishop takes g6, check. We're going to run the king back to d8. And then we're gonna go rook f8 mate. We're gonna do a because if we try doing the check and we try then we move, he can actually get to g7. So we have to actually go in kind of inversely, like a whoop whoop, and that's how you do it. So knight e5, king e8. That's an idea. If and then what happens is bishop h7, knight e3 to attack our rook to say, react to my threat, please. So we're like, we got a plan of our own, my friend. So we do a bishop takes h6, check, king moves back, and then we mate. That's right, exactly. And he, even if he, let's say this is a faster one, knight e5, and then if he tries bishop c, just the bishop, we'll say c b7, rook f8 is mate. So this has to be the first move. And then now we come here, I come there. There we go. Because I'll show you the other line doesn't work. I'll show you. I was looking at this line at first, and it doesn't work. Like if he plays here, he can come here at this point, and then he's free. But if we do this, and this is kind of my idea, kind of to tickle the knight a little bit, but it still doesn't matter. Okay, yeah, we're doing good. We're working together as a team. We got this. Okie dokie. Oops, hold on. That's not. Oh, good. There we go. Well, I didn't realize we actually can take with potentially queen takes h7 mate, but the rook stops it. That's an idea. I know we can't do that yet. But that is an idea that we can try to push through. Oh, wait a second. I have an idea. Rook takes e7. If knight takes f5, rook takes e8, check, knight f8. Oh wow, that does mate, doesn't it? Ooh, nice. Wow. Knight takes, rook takes. Is there anything he can do? Any interceptions? No. I don't. Let's go with it. Who'd have thunk? There we go, huh? We solved it. Nice work. Hey, it was a good exclam for sure. Second. Okay, so B4. Um, oh, I see a sacrifice here. Knight takes B4. A takes B4. Bishop takes B4. And I don't really see any way that he could avoid not losing material here. What do you think? What do you think about knight takes B4? And then what happens is if knight takes b4, and then let's say he plays rook b1. He might try that rook b1. Oh, interesting. E5 does cause a pretty big panic, huh? Yes, you're alive. We're good. Oh, nice. Welcome aboard. See, I know one thing see the B4 push caused the whole H H8 to A1 to be opened. The B4 pawn push. The B4 pawn push opened the H8 to A1 diagonal. So this is a threat here. So we have to first make sure that we take over the we have control of that. He's attacking our bishop right now. Bishop e3. Bishop e3. Bishop e3. Bishop e. What's bishop e3 do? That's funny. Triple exclaim. That's cute. That's funny. Well, bishop e3, queen takes. If queen takes, oh, wow, yeah, that would, yep, that would work, wouldn't it? Wow, interesting. Huh? Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right on that. Let's see. First of all, we gotta do one thing. Just check real quick to see if he has any continuations that would hurt us. If he plays knight d5, we just take the queen with the bishop and then basically take the rook. So that doesn't work. Don't see anything. Nope. I like that idea. Yay! 2400. We'll go over one of my games right now. We'll savor the victory. We were gonna go over a London system. London system, King's Indian. Here we go. This is a game I played a long time ago, 3 months ago. Okay. I'm white, my opponent's black. d4, e6, bishop f4, knight f6, knight f3, knight d5, and see this right here. When he pushes like that, you can actually play the knight out here after he pushes this pawn, because I'll show you the trick that happens if you don't. What's the system known as? The London system. It's just a system of chess. Like usually the main lines that are played in London are d5, knight f6, e3, c5 sometimes. You may even get some variations of the and then every once in a while you'll get a solid player who plays the Dutch. These are kind of 5. The most common ones are d5, knight, and then f5. Those are the most common ones. You may every once in a while get a c5 move, kind of like a Banco gambit setup. You could take it or just push onward. It's all up to you. But in this line, he played the more solid e6. So you could do there's a way of doing the London system. If he plays something like this, you don't always have to do the f4 variation. You can actually play the knight f3, and then the London system via this way. And then if he plays here, you have something like this. If he brings his knight out, then you can actually just develop your knight. If queen comes, you don't have to bring your queen. Sometimes you bring your queen to b3. In this line, you really don't have to. You could just develop your rook if you wanted to, or you could in some lines. But then he takes, and then you go to more of a positional game. So rook to b1 guards the pawn, still allows for the flexibility of the queen and bishop to c2 for an assault on like that. So, but I just did it more of a kind of flexible setup. I played bishop f. He played knight here, and then we entered in the same. It's the same way, but just a little bit different. The move sequence: knight d5, bishop g3. The main line goes. I did kind of a side line here because I wanted to provoke f6, and then retreat. I can then retreat my bishop maybe back to d2, or bishop h4, g3, and then maybe sometime get an attack on the queen side. So this is more of a sideline. This provokes bishop to e7. I wanted bishop e7 because I wanted to take. The idea of taking here is that when he takes with his queen, he could castle. But yes, I can develop with e4 in this line. This is more, now I can be more aggressive. I can hit hard in the center. I don't have to play passive. I got rid of his good bishop. This is somewhat like a French pawn structure setup. His light squared bishop's very bad. So I played there, and then I went c4, and I'm now kind of running towards more of a Alekhine defense. This is kind of like an Alekhine setup without the bishop though on f4. So, and I decided to go for a trade. Probably that's the only way to hold this pawn. I played knight takes. Now I developed, and he's going after the b2. And this knight has jumped from one. Let's see, where did it had to have gone. It went here to here to there. So it went 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 spots. Okay, and that's kind of the setup here is 4 moves, and now what we have to do is that's what was played. So b3 is an idea that I could play. I played yeah. No. let's see here. So there and there. Okay. Oh yeah. You like Scotch games? Yeah, we'll do a Scotch game after this. Yeah, Fisher is a good player for sure. And see that I've got all my development here set up for powerful pawn center. I am getting my bishop attacked, so I just moved my king up. It's kind of like I decided I went kind of berserk a little bit here, so I'm like go for it. So we're going towards an end game, and in my mind I was thinking, you know what? I have to get my king centralized, and so I'm now taking a knight. He made a mistake here. I took a knight. And I took the pawn, so I want a pawn and a knight. He takes, and then now I take the open file. B6, knight, rook E7, rook F6, and now I'm just flowing my pieces in. Probably best here would have been knight to have threatened mate. This probably would have been best, and then he would have had to have done something like that. And would have been interesting to say the least. So what I decided to do was just throw it in and go after his A7 pawn, H7 pawn. Knight check. And I played F4. See, everything is I'm putting the strangle on. See, that's going that. There's really only two spots that one spot that he can go to is here. I grabbed the rook, and then I went A5 because I'm trying to get rid of my weak pawn. He plays there. Yeah, I blundered on A5. It was a slight mistake. It was a mistake in that line. Probably best in this move would have been probably rook up. Trying something to move my rook, because I wanted to open up, but I made a mistake. So potentially, maybe even king to C3 might be good, just to hold my pawn down, and then I can play A5. I kind of did it a little too fast. I took. Grab the pawn. And this move I was really happy with this move, because this allowed for the potential of getting my pieces back. He kind of blundered there. If he would have taken here, I think he actually wins, if I'm not mistaken, with this move here. So, but I was winning the whole entire time until the very end. But I still won. He mouse clicked. It was in a casual game, so it wasn't rated. It was a slight blunder on my opponent's part. And so let's see if I have a Scotch game. Hold on. Scotch. I haven't been playing the Scotch in a while, so I don't know if I have a Scotch game. Just hold on. They have a London system. I know what we can do. We'll set up a Scotch position, and then we'll look and see if we can't find a game in the Scotch defense. We'll start. We'll take the position from here. Let's just do the Scotch setup. Just the Scotch. There we go. Otherwise, it gets into subline. Oops, wrong one. Let's see. What do we got for some games to go over? Black wins, and these lines. So let's see what we got for here. Let's get one that went. Okay, it's supposed to draw. Let's see about this. Here's one that white wins. Okay, we'll get this one. This is Kramnik when he was 2800, 2012. This is a little bit further back, so this should be a really good one. All right. Okay, that'd be good. That'll work too. We'll do that one. But until then, we'll go over this one here. When you find a Morphy game, we'll do that. Bishop c5, bishop e3. There's many different Scotch lines that you can play, and then you castle queenside. The Scotch has this. It's almost, I've watched the Petrov, very similar almost to the Petrov, except the pawn is right here and the bishop can flow out there, and usually in the Petrov the king castles queenside, or sorry, king castles queenside. Rook e8, f3, and then d5. This is when Aronian was at his peak of rating, 2820. So this is, in my opinion, his strongest time right here. He can come back there any time he wants to. Aronian's that strong, Levon. But this is like the, as I'm going to say, it's the top of this is their strength. These are two of the strongest players at this present time. So I'm glad that they have that in their database. So takes, knight takes, and then he goes after the queen, trying to provoke a weakness here. And what Levon does is play c takes. This is like incredibly amazing here. See, I don't know if that was the best idea, but this surprisingly white actually won in this. I mean, white did win. I'm not surprised because of all that. Now there's a fork. Look. So. If he trades off like a rook, this is being hung. So everything is like totally protected. He's got 4 pieces to 3. Yes, he's down a queen, but that doesn't mean it's over. Now it's 2 to 4. So let me see. He's got this, and this for that. So he's down an exchange. But I like Black's piece activity. Oh, just paste it into the chat, and then we'll do it after this. G5. That was his mistake right here. Oh yeah, the Danish Gambit. Oh, perfect. Okay, gotcha. Okay. This kind of looks like it's kind of sketchy. Like C5. What are you talking about? Can't he play some sort of an attack? Not really, because this is getting ready for bringing the bishop basically back to attack via this way. And then now you're attacking here. So G5 just weakens the position, in my opinion. Oh, nice. H6. Yeah, it's just when you have four pieces like this, and you got a rook and a queen, you're up material, but it doesn't feel like that. It's the oddest thing. It feels just so not right when you have that type of a setup. Yeah, this is more of a solid. See, what you're doing is you're coming forward, and a lot of players would have checked at this point, but there's really nothing that to worry about at that. You just come forward. There's nothing to worry about, and you're the one with all the pieces. Your next move could be A3. This is just really good in my opinion for black. I prefer black here. I like his four active pieces. His two bishops and knight neutralize the queen. So that's really nice. That keeps the queen at bay, and this rook is better than that rook at this moment. So and if he tries something like that, we could just grab that, and there's really no checks that he can do. What he could try a check here, but then we just move back and maybe something like that. But then you have a double attack there, and it's like, uh-oh, I did not see that. I'm sad. Game over. Not fun. So you gotta always be on your feet when even when they trade down for like three minor pieces for a piece. Three of these. Oops. Three of these for this. It's three pieces. Yes, they're minor pieces, but there's three of them, and they can make the queen's life painfully not fun when they get working together as a team. They're kind of like poke. They poke. And the queen's trying to look around, seeing what's poking her, and and it's these little bitty guys that are poking her. And she's like, wait a second, I can't handle all of them. They're all over the place. And that's kind of what you have to do when you have three pieces like this versus a queen. You have to kind of get, oops, I gotta get, well, you kind of got to get these things just teasing the queen a lot. And eventually, if you tease her enough, she'll move on to a square where you can either fork the queen or maybe even win for a knight you can win a rook, and then you'll have two bishops and a rook versus a queen, which is enough to at least draw, sometimes win. So b3, Pontes takes. Yeah, that was a mistake. He should have retreated his bishop back and tried to. I know it looks like, oh no, you got a fork. Yeah, But you have to remember, you have bishop. You have a bishop attack here. I understand what you're saying. He does have a check or potentially an attack there, but you just retreat your bishop to f8, and oh, there's a fork here. So, excuse me, pardon me. What would that do? Let me see. How do you handle that? Trying to figure. Oh, nice, nice. A tactic. So he can't actually play here, and if he plays down here, then now you can again take here, and now the three pieces start to be a pretty big nuisance to white. I'm not being able to reduce the resolution. My internet. I tried to fix that. I talked to another friend on the, like, you guys are my friends as well. I talked to somebody and they said that you can't really change the resolution. It's all on what Twitch has it on at that time. Because I went to Twitch and I tried to change it. It only allows you to go to automatic mode, and then so it's kind of whatever it is at that moment. I apologize about that, but there's really nothing I can do about the resolution. Yeah, this was a mistake though. That and then what happened was he started to react. C6 is a and so he resigned here. So okay, we'll look at this one here. Oops. Let's see what we got. Alrighty. A Scotch Gambit. So it's a gambit. Knight f3, knight c6. He takes. Oh, bishop. So this is the Scotch Gambit. Alright. It's when you gambit a pawn. It's a sideline. You trade your pawn for development. White's up a developmental piece. And now if he takes here, you can actually potentially take there, or I go queen b3, which is a strong attack too. Castles. And then if he takes here, now you have an attack here, here, and knight. Then you can actually develop your knight, bring your rooks in. Develop and attack. Well, you have to do it properly. I would say yes, but you have to do it proper, because you got to make sure your pieces are developed towards the king, of course, and you got to make sure that your attack will work out too. This is kind of a pretty interesting attack. You can kind of go get gung-ho on this, and if queen takes, then you're in a problem at this point. So you have to you got to be really careful as white here. F4, bishop F3, F6, rook A, C1. Because now we're threatening knight. These knights here. There's two knights that we can move in. Now we're threatening to take here. Bishop takes knight, pawn takes. Now the rook's attacking the queen. Knight D. Now another knight's going to be flowing in, and potentially queen there. So sack, kaboom. Now it's basically over. Wow. Gotta love that attack. Yeah, that has to take. Now you're threatening rook and knight and queen attack. There we go. B again. There we go. Brute combination. Brute force. Alright. Let's see if I have a let's see if we can't pull up a okay, we'll do a Magnus versus Nakamura. This one is where black won. Magnus is black and Nakamura is white, so we'll take a look at it from black's point of view on this. And we got to see how black could have potentially drew, but this is more of a I like this game. I like this type of a setup because they play right on, and so Magnus wants to get his bishops involved via this way here. So bishop d3, castle kingside, and in some lines you can play d5 in the Scotch game, and then play d6, maybe d6. That holds this pawn, and it allows the bishop to come back via an attack along there. So castles in d5. He's feeling kind of attacky today. He takes, pawn takes. So now Nakamura, if we were to go towards an endgame, he would have a better endgame advantage, because of he only has 2 pawn islands and Magnus has 3. So this would be a weakness for the king to kind of go after, and these pawns over here would be able to potentially cause, let's say we got here and then he pushed, you potentially can get a passed pawn via this way. If it comes here, let's say it's down to pawns. Let's say it's white to move. So he played here, black played there. It's just down to pawns. We're just going for pawns. White could push onward, and if black tried pushing onward, or maybe not pushing onward that way, but pushing this way, white could actually come and create an outside pass pawn. So white has a better in theory better pawn because it's farther away from the enemy king, and this pawn is closer to the enemy king. This one would be a passer in that line, and this king could barricade it when the black king would have to come over and protect these 2 pawns that are coming down the these 2 pawns that are coming down the board. You just always have to look at endgame is what grandmasters look at in their lines to see if the move sequence is what they're wanting, the super grandmasters. C6. That is true. If it depends, though, it really depends. If you have the two bishops and there's pawns on opposite sides, like here, I would most definitely keep my bishops on the board. If it came down to two knights, let's say there was two knights here for black. Black had two knights and we had the two bishops. I most definitely would not trade off my bishops. Even I would, unless I have a more active king and I know for sure that I can get my king to better, I wouldn't trade off my two bishops. Because that's your advantage. You can slice and dice, snipe, and go around, and you can poke them here, poke them there, and poke them everywhere around the board. And they may push a pawn, and then you go snap, and you snap the pawn off, and it's like, yay, hooray. C3, knight E8, rook E8, bishop H4, bishop G4, F3, bishop H5. See, we provoked a weakness in White's camp. It's this here. So now we can take advantage of that. And Nakamura missed an exchange here. And then at this point, it's about equal. So if takes, you could potentially, you can at this moment take, probably at this, you would actually have to take here, and then they take because you attack your queen. So you take there, and Magnus has the bishop, you have the knight. So you're probably going to want to, he's going to play here, you're probably going to want to play there, and then are here, and then play your knight in via something similar to this after some pawn moves. So you're slightly better here for white because of your pawn structure. You are, and it's a closed game, semi-closed game. You dominate the open file, so I would say with proper play, Nakamura, Magnus, draw. But this too optimistic of Nakamura. It's just my opinion. This actually picks up a pawn, and it was missed in the game. So this, they're both playing kind of funny, in my opinion. It's kind of like they're reacting to each other's threats. He could do this, and then it would be more. It would be better for Nakamura again, because of again the pawn structure. So it all comes down to the pawn structure, my friends. Even, but it eventually would end up a draw because the players know endgame so well that it would end in a draw. B3, C4, rook D1, bishop pawn takes. Let's see how many moves. Oh, not bad. 40. D. So bishop takes, pawn takes. And so let's see, Nakamura. Now he's the one with the bad pawn structure now. Yeah, but he's up a pawn. But Magnus has this passer, and most definitely he is not going to resign as long as he has that pass pawn. So this is a perpetual, by the way. Actually, that's, yeah. So he wouldn't be able to, I don't think, get out, would he? Let me see. Is this a draw? I think it might be. Oh no! Oh, it just wins a. Okay. I think it's still winning for black. And black and white resigned here. Okie dokie. See how we're doing. All right, we'll do a couple puzzles. Let's make sure we get these 100%. 100%. We got in some games, so let's do this thing. Okay, so h5 to h6. I'm looking potentially at knight f3 check. If king f1, what can we do at that point? I think we can potentially, let's see if we we could try picking up the rook. So rook takes not rook, knight takes g1, king takes g1, rook takes g4 check. If king f1, he can't go h4. He's in check. He's in check. I mean h7. Yeah, that, and I believe after king f. Oops, sorry. Here we go. Oops, there we go. I believe after this move here, rook to h4 would cause, like what you're saying, h7, f5. We'd play f5, and then we can actually pick up the pawn at that point because we blocked the diagonal. Let's see. Is there anything else? Well, he potentially could go e2, but then we pick up the rook. So he has to really stay intact with his rook. I'm just trying to see, is there anything else he can really do besides check? Then he has to take there. He has to stay in contact with the e2 pawn. I mean e2 square. Otherwise, what would happen is we can pick up. Yeah, we would lose our passed pawn, but we would get his passed pawn, and we'd be up a whole rook. So we'd be up actually 2 pawns and a rook. He'd only have a bishop and 2 pawns. We're up 3 pawns. I'm sorry, 4 pawns in that line. What about king d1? Well, I'd probably in that line, if knight f3, king d1, knight takes. King d1. Interesting. Huh. Yeah. That is an interesting move for sure. I think I got it now. Hold on, let me see. It takes g1, h7. Then we have e2, check. Bishop takes e2. Rook d4, check. Bishop d3, and then rook d8, just in time. Huh. Let's see why it wasn't good. That's puzzling. Oh, we can move up. I didn't see that. Okay. So here, bishop takes, Knight takes h7. Ah, gotcha. Why can't you just take there? Oh, because it takes here. Gotcha. And then when he goes there, okay. Gotcha. Because now we got that. Oh, snap. Wrong move order. Yeah. That's okay. We'll get it back. We'll get it back. Just recalculate, redo it, and we'll get it back. Yeah, that was, but we'll get it. Tells you move order is critical. It's like super duper critical when you get to the 2700 level puzzles. So they're gonna throw us back to the 2000 levels. Like, oh, so we got to redeem ourselves now. Let's get our calculating helmet on and that little light bulb and start turning on our little bitty light bulb for thinking. And let's do it. We got it. I remember they call it the thinking hat. We're gonna put our thinking hats on. Let's do this thing. Okay, dokie. Oh, I remember this puzzle. You have to, I believe, go off to the side, and then you have to go because there's no other way to win. King h1, rook takes rook takes f3, I believe. Let me see if this is right. H takes okay. H takes or sorry, G takes h3. And I'm thinking we're up a whole piece in that line. Because we're up a piece already. See, there's no other way to get out of it without mate. So let me see. King h1, rook takes f3, trying to get rid of it. Then we stop mate by playing h takes g takes h3, rook takes h3, and we're up a whole knight in that line. And we survive. We survived to fight another day. Hooray! You know, sometimes just surviving, you have to give a piece back. I mean, a pawn back, sorry. One pawn. But hey, as long as we survive, that's what matters. There we go. This is an interesting one for sure. So king e7, because we checked with our knight. So we have to continue our onslaught. Hmm. There's a couple ideas that I'm looking at. Bishop G5. Check's an interesting move. That's an interesting line. But then he has F6, and that kind of causes a little bit of a problem. But we could trade queens off. We could trade queens off. But I really don't want to trade down. I want to keep my pieces on the board. I really like having my attack. That would basically do away with all of our attack, and I don't want to do that. We gotta find a way to do. Oh, we almost got the queen trapped. I found the way. Bishop c4. Bishop c4 is an interesting move. That attacks the queen. And I'm thinking that the queen is almost trapped. Bishop c4. Queen c5. C5, b4. And whatever, if the queen goes to, like, let's say b7, we play knight takes c8, check, rook takes c8, and then queen d6, check. But I don't really see any good continuation. What do you think? What do you think? Ooh. Interesting. I think that's the move, yeah. Because I know it's attacking the queen, because that's really the only thing that we have. And I think you are right in this line. I think I'm gonna recalculate that. Yeah, because I didn't even think about the bishop e3. That I believe that's more likely the move, because then queen has to go to a5, and then at that point, then b5 comes into play. But Trying to see, is there any other way? I really don't see any other move sequence but bishop c4 to start off the attack. So that's our first idea. Hold on, let me take a look here. Bishop c5, bishop e3, e3, queen a5, b4, knight takes b4, knight takes c8 check, rook takes c8, queen d6 check, king e8, and then we have queen takes b4. Thinking that might be the but I think the bishop hangs in that line. I don't think that's the right line. Whoa. Probably bishop c5 here, and that picks up the queen. Because it has a double check threat in it. Yeah. Let's take a look at this. I want to check something out. Knight takes, A takes B, okay. And then bishop d2. And he wins a piece. Do you guys have any games you want to go over? Any more games? Because we can do that. And then wow, castles. And then let's say takes there. Takes c4. e8. d6. F here. And then you come back. Basically, you have them in a windmill kind of setup. And then g5. Let's see, where's g5 at? Ah, here we go. Now we're about to go for a huge attack here, so okay. Let's see if we got okay, dokie. Let's make sure we are 100% on this. Boy, I don't see anything wrong with knight g5. Is there any... I don't see anything wrong with knight g5. Nothing, nothing. Doesn't go anywhere, doesn't go anywhere. Then we take after that. It's mate. Yeah, knight g5. Oh. No? Ravioli. What did I miss? What did I miss? What did I miss? Oh, he could take. Now knight g5. Drat. I missed that he could take here. Yeah. Oh, 10 points. That's 11 points. Ew. Okay, we got it now. We're not gonna... We gotta make sure that we gotta keep 100% on this. I thought it was an 800 one. Yeah, F5. You were right, economy. Come on, come on. No mistakes. 100%. Okay. Calculation time. Bishop c5. Check. First line. King could go to f1. And in that line, we mate with queen h1. So that's off the table. That would be a mate. So let's go to bishop c5. Check. If queen e3, then we have queen takes g2 mate, mate. So bishop c5 check, bishop d4, bishop takes d4 check, king f1, queen h1 mate, Just want to make sure, am I missing anything? Well, he could actually potentially play, there's one more line. Bishop c5, check. Queen takes, queen f, not queen takes, queen f2. But then we have queen takes g2 mate. So let's see, is there anything? If he moves, it's mate. If he blocks with a bishop, it's mate in 2. If he blocks with the queen, it's mate 1. If he moves the queen to block, it's mate in 1. I don't see. Oh, please let this be right. Nice. Okay. We went through all lines. There was no way that he could win with that one. Okay. Next lines. Yeah, we're doing great. We're doing an excellent job. We just got to keep our focus on the prize of getting even farther past 2400. That just takes calculation skills, and we'll get there. We will. Okay, first thought is bishop c4. That's my first look. Okay, bishop c4, rook e3, yeah, rook e3, let's see here. Interesting. So rook, bishop c4, rook e3. There's got to be a reason one works and the other doesn't. Are we missing? Is there anything else? Let's just take a quick, a little bit of time here to see if we're missing anything. Oh, and by the way, we don't take the rook back. We take the bishop. We take the knight with the bishop first, as well. I think that's an idea as well. Oh boy. Let me see. The knight does a dual purpose of guarding e3, and so does the rook, but yeah, I like that. I think your idea is right on that. Um, let's see here. Well, he could actually, in that line, he's got to move, doesn't he? And and we got to figure this. Why give up anything? Yep. Let's calculate. See, is there anything else? Nope. I was just looking to see if we can get our knight out. I was just looking at this. I don't think it works. Knight takes d3, and b takes c4, and then knight takes c1. But I don't think that works because I think his knight moves and he can win our knight back. His other knight moves and then he wins the knight back. Yeah. Yep. And then if he goes g3, we can actually play bishop e4. I mean, after the king moves, we can just play bishop e4 if we need to as well. Yeah. Yep. Good work. Good work. I remember doing this one, so I just have to. Let's see. we almost have mate. So we have to first look at knight a3. Actually, we could attack the rook, I think. Or do we want to? Yeah, but can we gotta solve this one first, Fox, and then we'll do that. I think we went over, Fox, I remember this one. We went over this one before. Remember me and you went over this puzzle? It has to do with the knight going to a3 to c2 mate. But we remember the c pawn has to move and we have to get our pieces in the proper organization. Remember that? Do you remember this puzzle here? We have to somehow get to c2 or b3, either one, to mate. Let's see, knight. Oh, hold on. I think we got it. I think we have a move. I think we got it. Knight d6. Knight d6. Rook c6. I'm just looking at this. Let's see there. E4. Knight e4. And then I'm thinking knight d2 to knight b3, but I'm not sure. Oh, I think I remember. Yeah, you guys were right. Knight a3. And I think he pushes here, if I'm not mistaken. c4. c4. Bishop f5. c3. And then knight c2 mate. Is that how this puzzle went, though? I'm trying to remember. I remember this puzzle. Is that actually how it went, though? Do you remember that? Do you guys remember this? Do you remember the puzzle? We went over this one before, or a similar one. Remember, I wrote down too many knight moves or something like that. I wrote too many knight moves down. Do you remember that one? I wrote like knight c2, knight c2, and then I write knight c4. Do you remember that? It was kind of like, I don't know. Yeah. It was that puzzle. I believe it was that puzzle. Say knight there. I think wherever the rook goes, we can block it. I think that's why knight a4 works. Or knight e3 works, because wherever we go, whatever move he does, we can just move the bishop and we're fine. Yeah. And now we can actually play bishop g6 here. Bishop g6, and that blocks his rook from coming in with check. And mate. Okay, you have two games. We're probably gonna just do the games and then probably log tonight. We did good. Hey Fox, we got up to 2401. We got up to 2401. Yeah. So we were there. We hit it. We hit it twice. Actually 3 times. We hit it 3 times. So we're touching the 2400. So that'll be our new support. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I'm happy. Do you want me to start off at the very beginning, Fox? Okay, I was just wondering because I know sometimes you have games that are played out to a certain spot, and I just wanted to make sure. So d5, a knight f3. Oh, gotcha. Didn't even recognize I had. So I don't use the engine that much, so I didn't even recognize I had it on. Bishop f4. You can't. I know you can't be reliant on the engine because then you don't understand the moves. E3. Bishop. Queen b6. Queen c1. Knight c6. c3. a5. Knight b. d2. Knight f6. a3. C takes B, C takes D. So far so good. Everything looks good. Your position's rock solid. You have the beautiful London bishop, so we got that. And then now you have a spot for your light square bishop to go to B5. So I gotta say, I most definitely any day of the week would play as white here. Bishop D. But yeah, because there's no point to go here anymore. This now you got your bishops here, and he's most likely going to castle kingside. And when he does, you can bring our friend Harry up the board and smash the position. H3. Ooh, you gotta love when they do this. This becomes, as Maurice Ashley said at the Cairns Cup, a hanger or something like that. I forgot the name of it. It's a pawn that you can actually take. It's a weakness that you can take advantage of. You can go here, get the rooks involved. First of all, you go here. You can play rook there, and then start after a castle. Start taking a little bit of a tickle on h6. Oh, so you castled. All right. Rook e1. Nice little tactic he did there. That was a pretty tactic. Yeah, he doesn't really want to allow this to come to pass, because then you can drop a knight in, and now you can bring your queen over here, and you got that. So it does it. That's why your opponent retreated back. Didn't want that to happen. So queen b1. I don't know. I might have played um, bishop maybe h4 here, just causing a little hectic in his position. And then next play knight to e e5 would be an interesting move. So to he'd try something like this, and to hold on to his bishop like that. Then you can actually trade and play knight in, and now you got your bishop and your knight. So it's kind of a rocky position right now. You also have the ability of dropping your bishop back and then going g4, g5 too. So I don't know. Maybe this might slightly be a dubious move, but I kind of would, and I think at this point he probably would do that, g5, to try to lock that down. But now you have an attack, and if he plays there, you can come up here, and if he takes, then you got bishop takes, and now you got your two bishops hammering home. So even some dubious looking moves sometimes have some good play to them. And I think I know what your idea is. You're going to want to play potentially f4 and then king to h1, right? Is that kind of the idea? Oh, bring your knight in. Ooh, nice sacrifice. Nice. You potentially had this crazy move here. Knight to knight to e5. This is a crazy move. And if he plays here, you pick up the queen, so you can't really play there. So he's gonna have to basically play rook over to f8 at this point. And then now you have knight to c, and you're threatening checkmate with the bishop. So, oh, bishop takes. That's not a problem for us. We take back, and now we're threatening checkmate. So, oops, not there. I had to delete that. Delete. You're also threatening check. Let's see here. Oh, king f8? Okay, gotcha. King f8, alright. potentially something like this. So maybe something here. Maybe there. And let's see, what could he play at this point? Yeah. Oh, you're thinking 97? 97. Well, let's try something like knight here to try to shut down. Oops, you can't do that. Ooh, so maybe something like that. Maybe that would be a good shutdown. Not really. Yeah. So our idea does fly. Nice job. Do you have the other one? And then we'll go through this one a little quicker. One more, and then I got a log. All right. That's white. Okay. Come on. Upload for me. There we go. E6. Nice. Oh. So this wasn't a London system. Okay, castles. What is this? Oh. Oh, you did a Kramnik kind of setup, or a Karpov maneuver setup here. Yep. There. Boom. E5. Knight comes in. Nice. King H1. Let me see here. Yeah, he went right in for that. He lost. He's going to lose 2 pieces here. Well, not really. He could potentially play knight there, but let's see what the continuation would be. Probably bishop takes at this point. You probably can even play that there. He tries to hold in here. Yeah. Let's give it a go. Probably there. Oh. But I kind of see now why he does this here. Kind of here. And then now you take, okay. That's probably best. And then now you can retreat out. And you're threatening 2 pieces. Okay. We'll see if our line works here. Let's see, after he moves here, we'll say here. Okay. He can actually stop that with, let's see here. And it comes up. So that doesn't work. That's a mistake. So this is the move that works. And then if here, okay, yeah, then there, if rook here, I think we're so close to, we really don't have enough material to mate yet. So, do you have any questions? Do you have any questions on this? I'll give you a, okay. Perfect then. Well, we gotta remember always what we do. Life is about treasuring your victories and learning from your losses. Remember that mistakes don't define you. It's how you handle the mistakes that define you in chess and in your life. There are no limits. There are plateaus, and you must not stay there. That's what Bruce Lee said. And I truly believe that. We're making our next plateau jump to 2400, and we solved a 2763 puzzle. So we solved a super grandmaster puzzle, and we could do it. And then one of them we almost got right. We had the move order in reverse. So it's not like we didn't have the moves. We just had them in wrong order sequence. So we are on the right track, and we're taking what we know and we're applying it, and it's making all the difference. and we're willing to change, and we're gonna do it. We have to remember that though, that there's grounds. We talked about this. There's four grounds that are spoken of. There's the wayward ground, that you have a talent or a seed that can grow seeds that can grow a lot of garden, and you throw the talent off to the side in the gutter, and then nothing grows there. It just washes down, and all the talent that you had is gone. Or you could throw it on the rock and get really excited about, like 100-point increase in your rating and all this, and then when you hit as they say, a roadblock, or in an alley, a dead end for a while, a chess player would give up at that point. But we don't do that. We're not that rocky ground. And the one that's the hardest to overcome, in my opinion, out of all of them, is the ground with weeds. That's the ground that things pop up when you should be doing at least maybe 10 to 20 minutes. Something comes up, like you do this over here instead of that, and you're supposed to actually just do your 10 to 20 minutes here a day. And it's like, I'll get back to it. I will get back to it, and then you don't get back to it, and then whatever field that you're in suffers because of that. And we also remember we talk about all chess. What suffers in calculation is when you play the hyper blitz, the blitz, the lightning, or the 30-second, minute, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes bare minimum if you are going to play any. But I would prefer that you more likely study and learn, so that when you sit down, you're confident of the move sequences that you're going to be playing. And that's the ground that's, in my opinion, the broadest ground that's out there in our society, is the ground that has weeds in it, because it still looks like it's growing, but there's only a little bit of weeds there. But weeds eventually take over your garden if you don't watch it, and they take all the nutrients out of the ground too, so you won't get as big of a cucumbers, squash, zucchinis, and tomatoes as if your garden was weedless free. But then there's that ground that is the fertile ground that the person takes care of. They de-weed, they plant, they hoe, they make sure that it's adequately watered, and the soil is right temperature, and not too acidic or anything. And when it comes due for the sun to shine and the plants to grow, it has a 20%, 40%, 60%, 80%, and sometimes, with proper study, 100% return on your investment. And yeah, maybe with even perfect practice, who knows, maybe 1,000%. You never know. And that's the hardest ground to keep because of one thing. You sometimes have to give up things that you want to do that day or that afternoon to put in those 10, 20, or 30 minutes of study to get better. And it's also when you're hoeing the ground, you're watering, and it's like, when is that seed going to ever grow? You can't dig it up. Sometimes people dig up their seeds to look. That would not work. That the seed then doesn't grow anymore, and you have to plant it and wait for it to root up again. So just keep that in mind. But what we have to do is remember that our goal in tactics is to get a better understanding of our position, so that when we see the board and we feel that chess sense or spidey sense, and it's kind of like you feel there's something wrong. Your brain kind of tingles over here or somewhere, wherever it does on yours, and you know that there was a mistake there. You then can, as Gary Kasparov says, you can cut your way through the black and white jungle and find that lost place that you're searching for, which is the perfect tactical motif. And chess is fun. That's the whole point of chess, is to be fun. So make sure that it doesn't become like work, because it's not work. It's really fun. It does. I do get a little nervous when we get a 2400 level like that. I was like, I don't want to get it wrong, but you know what? Sometimes to make mistakes is to learn. So don't feel bad. We'll get back there and we'll surpass it even farther because our brain is laying down more road. Instead of it being a two-way highway, it's gonna we're moving to a 4, to a 6, to an 8, maybe even to a 10 or 12-way lane highway, and who knows, even more beyond that, which means our brain capacity to send and receive is really good. But we always have to do this one thing: hang up our coat, hang up our hat, sit down and study when most won't. We do, and trust me, my friends, that makes all the difference. As Wesley So says through the Lord Jesus, as I say, God bless, and I'll see you guys next time on Chest Cruncher TV. Have a blessed morning, afternoon, and evening, and Lord willing, I'll be back on tomorrow, and we'll push towards 2400 and onward and upward to greatness. To always honor the Lord, we have to remember that too. You know what? I want to throw that in there. He's the one that gives us our every thought, our every breath, and He's so merciful that He allows us to do what we love, study. So always keep that in mind, in your heart, and in your thoughts. All right, great job. Go Team Chest Cruncher. 2 thumbs up. We're doing it. Okay, I'll see you tomorrow. Keep studying and having fun in chess. Be blessed. Bye bye, guys.